Good morning.
Good morning.
Welcome back for another chat with the Rustic Girls. Um, how have you been this week?
Mostly good.
Yeah, I agree. It's been a rough week.
Yeah.
Thanksgiving was a good day. You know, in our family, it's never been a big holiday. I mean, we enjoy the food and we enjoy being together, but we don't have a ton of traditions surrounding. So there's memories, but there's not traditions. And so I think I wasn't anticipating it being as challenging as it actually was. Being the first Thanksgiving without my dad, it was definitely
Well, and you haven't had
hard.
Thanksgiving with him for a few years
True.
either. So I think you've got your new traditions.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so
So it was a lot. I think that the biggest thing for me was the people.
mhm.
Since my dad passed, I really haven't done much of any socializing outside of groups of like one or two people. Even at church, I missed a lot of church, but when I went, I've really not interacted with many people. Um, so it was a big crowd, and I think that was probably a lot of it for me was that side of things.
Draining.
It's so draining. Um, but there's also been a lot of grief this week, so it's been good stuff, bad stuff, hard stuff,
Yeah.
all the in between. And it's also been really busy, trying to work hard for the holidays and, try to give your kids all the things. And so that kind of brought us to what we thought we might chat about this morning, which was just how do you fill your cup when life is just busy or life is hard, when you're in seasons of grief, when you're in seasons of, just challenging things, whether it be financially or your marriage or parenting, whatever it is. How do you find ways to keep your cup filled? Because you can't pour from an empty cup,
No.
right?
Right. Absolutely.
So if you haven't chatted with us before, I'm Katie. I'm the daughter of the mother-daughter Rustic Girl duo, and this is my mom.
I'm Patty, and I am the mother of the mother-daughter duo.
So here we are, and let's dive in. We've got coffee. I think that this is a great first one right here. This morning we went and just got coffee from our favorite local coffee shop, and I think that there's just something about treating yourself every once in a while, just something small. Even when money's tight, I mean, you're looking at like $5 for a yummy coffee, and especially when you go local this time of year. They've got the pretty decorations, they've got the music. It's just a really sweet environment. So I think doing little things to treat yourself.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
You can't just work all the time.
Yeah. And and those and sometimes those treats are not even really financially costly. Sometimes it's a bubble bath for an hour with some candles, or
taking time,
or locking yourself in your room and reading a book and having a cup of tea for an hour.
Yeah.
But yeah, knowing what little thing is gonna
you love to do, but maybe you don't feel like you have the time,
yeah,
you don't have the money,
it's a treat for you, I guess. Little luxuries.
Little luxuries. And if they're little and they're infrequent, they almost have a bigger impact. If you get a coffee every day on your way to work or whatever, that's not really a treat, right? That's not really a luxury for you. That's that's just part of your routine. So I think it's not specific to one thing. It's what fills your cup.
Right.
Like you said, taking time. Maybe the luxury is taking time to yourself. But I think that's one huge way to just, keep your cup full. So that you can keep giving. Another thing is making your bed every day. It's one of those things, I do it almost every day, but then you do it for so long, you forget how rewarding it is, and it becomes a grind, and so then I don't do it for a few days. And it's not the same experience, guys. Like getting into a made bed at night for me. I mean, seeing it pretty during the day is a cup filler. I do appreciate
especially
the peace.
When you've got dishes in the sink and
life is chaotic,
laundry in the midst, and to be able to have that like one little
spot
of calm and peace going, all right.
This is one. It's true, especially if your life's chaotic. I think it makes a big impact, having a spot that's just peaceful. But for me, it's coming into a made bed. It feels so welcoming and inviting coming into a made bed. And so after a couple days, it's just not as restful.
And I feel like there's there's a draw to it as well. Like I don't know.
You want to crawl in.
Yeah, especially when you're, getting into that evening time and you're, kind of buttoning things up for the day, and I don't know. it's not just this disheveled mess that you left in the morning that you're just going to flop into.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, oh, pretty soon I get to
It's
like
ready
pull
for
those
me.
covers back. And
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I know for me that's been huge because I haven't been able to consistently make my bed for years and years and years and years. Just because Joe and I have always been on different schedules.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I had the shop, was working in the shop, he was working a different schedule. So like I would get up, he would still be in bed. And then even post retirement with his chronic pain, oftentimes it would be, you know, late afternoon.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, I don't know. Every now and then I would go ahead and make it anyway, but somehow just
But then you're like, what's the
3 o'clock
point?
in the afternoon, you're like,
Today's
what's the point? Exactly.
Yep.
And for me, that's I don't know. That's just been huge. I didn't realize the benefit I was going to get out of that. Just
Mhm.
you know, each day. Um, yeah.
I think making your bed is a simple little way, but maybe it's something that, I think in the same context of, what are other ways like having a beautiful little coffee station.
Mm-hmm.
If you make your coffee at home every morning, having just a nice little welcoming spot when you first get up, or
Something
yeah,
something that you enjoy resting your eyes on.
mm-hmm.
You know, something like whether it be a coffee station, whether it be a little decor spot, a
Mm-hmm.
shelf, a sign, a little stack of books, just something that is a little happy spot for you. I think everybody needs to have at least one of those. Maybe it's just a photograph, you know, a
Mm-hmm.
family photo, or
Mm-hmm.
just something that you can kind of
Yeah, well, because I think that
reach a
it's
little bit
especially when life's chaotic, right? When life's really busy, it can be a struggle to stand up with all the things. I was talking to my brother. Well, I was trying to talk to my brother last night. We've been playing like phone tag and text tag for days, and so I was just like sending him a text last night, and it's just like you feel like you're juggling all these balls, and I'm just constantly dropping like 3 of them, and so I think when life's busy, when life's chaotic, when you have a lot going on, it can be really hard to stay on top of everything.
Mm-hmm.
So if you can find like one thing that I can do, like this just takes 5 minutes to have this space be peaceful and ready, that like when I look at it, it like restores my soul a little
Mm-hmm.
bit.
I think another one is, you know, we're talking a lot about being busy and, you know, being a lot on our plate and juggling balls and all that.
Mm-hmm.
But in that, I think it's also important to remember to move, but not move in that
Busy, chaotic.
busy mode. You know, maybe yoga is your thing, maybe, you know, walking, maybe running, um, maybe, you know, going to the gym or lifting weights, but finding a way, maybe it's just cranking up the music and having a little dance party in your living room. Finding ways to move and move in a way that's it's going to release all that tension you've got built up in your body, and you're going to feel better. Because I think it's easy when you're going through hard seasons and your cup is empty, you know,
just to curl up in your empty cup and be sad, or being stressed out, or
you know, fill it up with, you know, wine or you know, food.
Yeah.
I'm just going to sit down and eat ice cream.
Things that make you feel worse.
They make you feel worse in the long run. And so, you know, you don't have to go on this like major workout kick, but
something.
But yeah, something to move. And kind of, you know, my rule of thumb is when I really don't want to move, that's when I know I need to move even more.
Yeah.
And I always feel better. My cat drags me out for these
jaunts.
I don't walk him, or I don't walk him. He walks me.
Mm-hmm.
But I always feel better,
mm-hmm.
you know, when I come back. I've gotten fresh air and movement.
Even so, last night we went, and I will say that we are speaking this morning like to ourselves. Like this is coming from empty cups. It's been, I mean, you know, it's been my dad passed away 3 months ago, and like a few days here, like 10 days or something.
Months,
almost 3 months ago. And there's just been a lot in my home, and it's the season of busy with Christmas and, you know, just trying to like catch up financially. So I've been working more, And
I've added more onto my plate to
right,
help
you've been
you,
helping
so you
me.
can, yeah. So
So yeah, it's been, so our cups are definitely empty. And I would say one thing that fell off, and we tried to get it back going, and then it fell off, and then we tried and it fell off, is walking. And I feel it.
yeah,
There's a lot of walking, doing the deliveries that I've been doing. That's how I side hustle and my husband
but that's
works.
busy.
But it's
Walk.
busy walking.
Yeah.
It's not restful. It's not restorative. And I'm tired at the end of the day physically, but my soul is more tired. And I think, just yesterday we were going grocery shopping, and I was in my robe yesterday, guys. I told my husband on the phone, he's like, "Are you okay? Like, your tone is way off." And like, I'm in a really bad mood, like really bad mood all day. And I'm like, I'm fighting it, but I am failing miserably at fighting it. I was just like, anytime anyone asked me any question, it was like immediately like just so overwhelmed. And I was just, I don't know. And so anyway, we're at Costco and we do our shopping and we go to leave, and we're swapping to my husband's car because we met after work. This is such a woman's story because there's like 900 details that weren't
really
necessary.
Don't matter.
That are now in the story,
now
forever recorded. Yeah. And anyway, he's like, "Do you want to know where I parked?" And I asked him where I parked, and he's like, "Over there on the other side of the parking lot." I was like, "Okay, cool." And so I start to walk, and he goes, "Why don't you just hop in the car? Like, I'll just give you a ride over." And I was like, "No, it's okay. We'll find it." And we wandered up and down the aisles, managed to miss the car talking. So we wandered and then wandered back, and then he finally like signaled with the car and like led us to the thing. But I'm like, that like 5-minute walk around the parking lot was so refreshing. Like, I was talking to you. It was the cold, brisk air.
It wasn't the crowd of people and all the stuff bombarding you.
Yeah.
And I think, especially this time of year, it's especially bombarding. Of course, busiest Friday of the year.
Yeah, arguably grocery shopping on Black Friday.
But it's very bombarding because there's stuff like,
the sales noise, right?
The sales noise and the
shopping.
I think there's something and I know it's psychological, right? That's how they sell stuff. But like all the seasonal stuff, right? And it's all screaming at you like, you need me, you need me, you need me. It's like I eat like one piece of chocolate once in a while, typically. But as soon as they put out all the seasonal, pretty boxes and packaging and all the peppermint looking stuff, I'm like, oh, I need that, I need that, and I need that. And I'm like, no, I don't need that.
I don't actually need all these things.
Yeah. And that's just the food. I checked.
They didn't have
them. Although I will say, total sidebar here, I was showing the girls at Winco last night. They had a little tiny, like the bag was like 3 times the size of what was actually in there. What was actually, in there was like probably this much, right? Just a few. And it was like $3.97 or something. And I'm like, we got big bags.
So, sidebarring into, at Costco, they've had the pretzels, the thin pretzels with the white chocolate and the peppermint. So good. However, the dark chocolate.
Yeah. I almost bought it just so I could try it. And they only get it right around
Thanksgiving. And like, it's one of those things, I think they get like one bag or one batch. And that's it. My plan was, once they came, was to buy 12 bags.
My pallet.
And buy like one a month for the whole year. I can meter it out. In theory, I'd have the self-control for that, but we didn't see them. So that was what we were talking about.
So if you see them,
let us know and buy them because they're so good. But yeah, little treats.
And that goes along with little treats, but they can also be bombarding too.
They can be too much. Yeah. A lot of treats. That's the thing. It has to be a little bit.
Like 13 different rabbit trails right there. Spun us around in a chaotic circle.
So we, you keep moving, find moments of little treats. I think that another way, and for my sisters of faith, is time with the Lord, because that is something that always, right? You get busy, and it's just, that's the thing that drops off. You wake up late or whatever your rhythm is. But like the rhythm's thrown off by the holidays, and so, or by the busy, or by the grief, or by the whatever, the hard season, and you lose that time with the Lord. And there's something about that will fill your cup more than anything else. And so I more than anything is like taking that time
Mm-hmm.
to be in the Word every day and to just to pray and worship and be grateful for who God is, for what He's done, what He is
Which,
doing.
and I think you have to pull yourself away from the noise to get
Mm-hmm.
there. I know for me, it's, even though I don't have a noisy home per se, I have a fairly quiet little box out there, but
When you're in here, it ain't
but
quiet.
for me, walking, like, that's become
Mm-hmm.
my habit. I try to pull up, the daily
Mm-hmm.
verse before I go, and kind of, start thinking about that.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes that doesn't happen, but then I'll listen to, I'm kind of reading through the Bible, or listening,
Mm-hmm.
um, as I'm walking, and then it kind of, I'm out and I'm walking and it's quiet, and there's just, there's not a lot of distractions. And then that translates into just thinking about it, thinking about things, thinking about life, which is kind of, depending on which way it goes, it'll lead me either into worshipful prayer, or it'll lead
Heartbroken
for
prayer,
me
like
into
knee high prayer.
heartbroken. Yeah. But but you gotta find that time for you, what works for you,
Yeah.
getting up early, staying up late after everybody else goes to bed.
Wherever that moments you can carve
Mm-hmm.
out quiet on your lunch break at work.
Mm-hmm.
And I think if you're not a person of faith, first off, Jesus is the bomb.com with a capital .com. uh, but um, reflection.
Mm-hmm.
One thing that my second oldest daughter is really struggling in this season of grieving. You looking back and watching videos and looking at photos, like she was Papa's girl, like more than not Mama's girl, not Daddy's, not Grandma's. Nobody's like she was Papa's girl, and she adored him, and so she has just been devastated by this loss, and so if you don't mind me sharing what you're getting her for Christmas, um, is a letter. It's a beautiful journal, Etsy clutch for something beautiful and handcrafted. That's letters to Papa. It says, "Dear
You can
Papa,
get
things."
personalized.
Yeah, so it'll say, "Dear Papa, things I wish I could say to you. Love, Violet." And she can journal every day and just write a letter to Papa, telling him about what happened in her day. And I think it is going to help her a lot in her grief. So I'm excited for her to get that. And I think that that's something, just reflection of any kind. So
Mm-hmm.
in seasons of loss, I actually was last night thinking I want to write a letter or two to my dad. Just things I wish I could, say to him, or wish. I mean, there's not really anything I didn't say to him, but there's things I want to say to him. So I don't know. But whether it be, in times of grief, writing a letter to that person, and you can, people do like fires and they burn it.
Mm-hmm.
You can do a journal that you keep. You can put it and tie it, to a balloon and whatever. Which people like, don't release balloons, so don't come after me. But I'm just saying, there's lots of different ways you can float it down river. So there's lots of different ways to do it, but like, journaling, if it's a time of grief, journaling to that person. If it's just a time of busyness and hardness, I think just taking time to pause and reflect on like where you're headed and what's happening, and allow yourself, because life doesn't allow you to process.
No.
I mean, you think about grief. My husband, with his work, and he's a great job, but with his work, he got 3 days grieving.
That was what your dad always
Yeah.
got.
And it's like 3 days. 3 days. Somebody important
Doesn't matter
died
if
to
it's
you.
your spouse. It doesn't matter if it's your kid. It doesn't matter if it's your grandpa. 3 days.
3 days, and you're supposed to be back on the job, focused and working. And I think life, people give you a few weeks, and then it's just kind of, we're back to normal.
Off. Yeah.
They drop off. They stop checking in.
Or they, how do I say this? They come at you. I mean, sometimes in well-meaning ways that you need to move. You need to get moving. You need to move on. And there is a time and place for somebody who's in your circle to really know that, okay, they're really withdrawing.
It's unhealthy.
It's unhealthy, and like, So there
Give him
is
a loving nudge.
that, but I went off on a tangent. Where was I going with that? Just that um,
You need more time.
you need time. It takes time.
A lot of time.
Most people say, like everything I've read, um, you, first of all, I don't even want to give a timeline because grief is what it is, and some
Well, if I can
people,
toss an example out, talking to my friend about her child who lost his grandpa, his beloved grandpa, 4 years ago, and they still have on a semi-regular basis. So I would guess it to be once or twice a month, where he's crying and they have to pray together and work through that grief. So that's for me. I was
right,
struggling with my daughter, going, how long do I allow her to sit in it before it becomes unhealthy? And it's like, okay, well, this is like,
right,
it takes a long time.
it does, and I don't, again, like we were talking, it's like it's more concerning if they're if you're completely withdrawn and you're not participating in life, and
Yeah.
but like I honestly, like my parents, I lost my daddy when I was a teenager, my mom when I was barely 22, and I I would say the vast majority of the time, I just don't even think about it.
Right.
But every now and
move on,
then,
move forward.
and it's not even necessarily like, oh, Christmas or their birthday. Like, I take a pause, but it's like a random, a smell or a sound or a song or just something hits me sideways. And that's been, my mom is like 30, going about 40 years.
Yeah, about 36 years.
Yeah.
Almost 36.
Yeah, because you were a year old, yeah.
Okay, so 35.
Okay. And so yeah.
So yeah, it's time, because grief, I mean, it's different. We're side railing.
Yeah,
we
are totally getting
for sure. But I think that, for us this season is hard because of grief.
Right.
Sometimes the seasons are hard because of a lot of different reasons. For some people, the holidays are hard because they don't have family. Maybe it's not that you lost family, maybe it's you never really had that sense of community. So I think that one way to fill your cup is to find connection, because it's easy to feel isolated this time of year. And so if you have, maybe you don't have family, but maybe you have a friend, and you can be like, you know what, I'm really like, can we just get coffee and be vulnerable and be like, I'm lonely, like I need community. Or it's finding community. Even if you're like, you don't even have friends, like you are just by yourself fighting through life, which I am so sorry. Reach out to us, we will be your friend. Because I've been in seasons of isolation where you felt like you really just didn't have much of anybody. Never fully alone, praise the Lord, I was blessed, and I never felt completely alone, but isolated. And but I think finding community, so finding a good church, or finding there's tons of groups, and you go on Facebook and look at the groups of common interests. If you go look at your local library, they do a ton of events for like people like board games, people who like this activity, people, there's birding groups. There's just, find somebody that's like common, just start making that connection. Well, it's hard, but it's worth it.
Even volunteer opportunities, you can find connection. And I think sometimes that might be a great place to start, because you're taking that pressure off yourself. It's not your peers typically, right? It's whether it be at
somebody who's struggling in a different way,
or yeah. And I wanted to say on that note, if you're not in a season apart, if things are going great for you right now, you're not feeling that, be a noticer. Like, notice the people around you, so that maybe they don't have to say, hey,
I need you.
Think about,
you're just there,
those people around you, or just notice and
reach out,
and they may say, no, I'm good,
but
but
even if someone says no, I'm good, it doesn't mean it didn't mean a lot to them that you reached out,
right?
So I agree, be a noticer. And I think that that all kind of culminates to the hard stop. Sometimes life is just spinning, and it's a merry-go-round, and it's spinning faster and faster and faster, or like the conveyor belt with I Love Lucy, speed it up a little, and it gets to a point where you're just like throwing stuff everywhere because you can't handle it. Um, it's okay to hard stop. You know, that was just the other day with you. You were like, you know what? I'm done. Like, I've been putting in, you know, helping with the kids a lot because we've had family stuff going on and then the working and like this is like the first major holiday and then like everything. And you were like, I just need a day to myself. Just a day to like disconnect from everybody and kind of hide out and hermit. And I think that that is absolutely okay to be like, you know what? These little ways of filling my cup are not enough. My cup is so empty. There's a giant hole in it, and I need to pause and just fix the hole. So I think it's perfectly acceptable to be like, I just need a break.
Yeah.
And, you know, sure. I can't do it. There's been, you know, like I said, I mentioned earlier, I missed a lot of church, and it's been because, I'm just not up for it. I'm just not ready for talking to a lot of people. I'm not ready for people asking me about my dad. I'm not ready for people not asking me about my dad. You know, you're like, it's too much. And so there's been plenty of weeks where I was like, I need to stay home. I need to be off for a couple hours. And I think that there's nothing wrong with that. And if you have someone who's doing that, the best thing I could think you can say, if you know someone who's struggling, is just to be like, do you want to be alone? Do you want me to come sit with you? You know, give an opportunity, because there's always that, especially this time of year, guys, people get depressed and they isolate, and withdrawing can be good, but it can also be really unhealthy. And so I think just offering and then allowing them that space if they need it. But yeah, hard stop, you know, catch your breath.
I think that's where my brain was going.
Well, I think, you know, this ended up being a lot more about grief than
it did,
than what we intended, but I think that that's kind of,
it's coming from what we're feeling, where we're at, what the heart is for it. But you know, no matter what your heart is,
heart is hard.
And don't minimize it. Don't say, oh well, it's not that big a deal. You know,
there are people going through worse. Yeah, there are, and there are people going through less. But when it's
hard for you, it's hard, and
your heart's different from their heart.
And but you know, just each day know that things, you know, today was just a really, really crap day. There's always tomorrow. And finding those little ways to, you know, make it a little bit better. You know, I feel like we talked about some good things that I think anybody could draw from the broad idea and personalize that to, you know,
where your life is at. Well, I think like, you know, that concept of making each day a little better than the last. Like, you know, maybe you've been on a journey to get healthy. You know, that's something for me for a good 5 years now. I've been trying incredibly hard to lose weight, and it's taken a very long time to make any progress. And it's very discouraging. So, you know, whatever you're working on, maybe you're grinding towards a career you wanted and it's just moving so slow, or, you know, you're working on like making a beautiful home, you're remodeling, like whatever your thing is that you're working on, and you're feeling discouraged by the grind, is like giving yourself grace and making each day better than the last. So, for example, for the health journey, today I had a really bad day, right? There's so many people that like, you had a bad day, you need a bag of chips, whatever. Your poison of choices, right? Your overindulgence, and you feel terrible, and then you're like, well, screw that. Now, like, it's all messed up. I'll have to start again Monday. You know, it's all destroyed. Instead of having perspective, I give myself grace. Today, it's a journey, and today was hard, and today I didn't make the healthiest choices, but I'm still here, so that's healthy. You know, I didn't make the choice to end the journey. And tomorrow, what's one thing, not all the things, because I'm notorious for all the things. I'm going to drink all the water, eat all the vegetables, eat none of the junk, and do all the workouts, and then you don't do one of them, so now you're a failure, so now I got to just give up. Instead, view as like, what's one thing? So, you know, yesterday I drank almost no water. So today my goal is going to be, I'm going to focus on water. Like, everything else will be what it'll be. I'm going to focus on this one thing that I can do. And, you know, if it's your home, then it's like, maybe there's one spot I can organize. One spot, one thing drawer I can get rid of. One thing I can put away and find a home. Maybe it's, your career, and you're like, what's one thing I could do in my career to keep pushing it forward, one thing to advance myself. So I think giving yourself grace, and but like not giving up, because it's that complacency, that stagnation is where icky things grow, bad things develop in your heart, and people get to the point where they start feeling like life isn't valuable, when they start feeling like they're not valuable or their family's not valuable. And life is so precious, and time and the people around us. And I think just don't give up in the busy, don't give up in the hard, and don't give up in the sad, because
well, and I know your
there's
dad
everything.
talked about, some of his training from the Marine Corps is like the battle. Most of the battles we fight, they're up here. They're right in here.
You can do
And
way more than you think you can do.
yeah, and if you can just overcome that, and some of that, like we've been talking about, is just it's incredible to me sometimes how just one thing can just start to shift everything, right? You just have that one thing in your day, and it just shifts. You go from the sky is falling, woe is me, like what's even the point, to okay,
I can do this. I got this.
I got a plan now, or I feel good about this. So it and try the different things. If you don't find that one thing makes a difference for you, try something else.
Knock on the next door
and make your own list, blaze your own trail. If you find, we'd love to hear if there's things that you do
that fills your cup, that keeps you going in seasons of busy and hard. I think that, I guess maybe to close with piece of advice my dad gave me, and this was a part of my, I don't know what you call it, is a eulogy, what you read at funerals, memorials. So part of my eulogy for my daddy. But it had been after, and I honestly feel like I probably have already shared this here, but after my husband was sick in the hospital, everything was going on. It was just so hard, and I was so heartbroken. And he said, I know life's really hard. I'm sorry for you, sweetie, but I know how you can get through hard things. Put your head down, take a deep breath, and then pick it back up. Keep going. And so that's, when seasons are busy, seasons are hard. It's like pausing, taking a breath, drinking a coffee, reading your Bible, making your bed, whatever your thing is, taking just a moment to stop and breathe, because it's like when you hit the overwhelm is when you can't do anything else. So, yeah. Anyway, what was our thoughts? We'd love to hear your guys' thoughts in the comments, and we look forward to being live with you guys. I think we're over halfway. So,
and I think on the note of the comments, I think sometimes just knowing somebody else is walking through hard stuff too, and they found a way to cope. Inspiring each other, and supporting one another. It's even though you may never meet this other person or even have a conversation with them, sometimes I know for me, like whenever I feel inspired to leave a comment on whatever, something I'm watching or reading, it's you don't know how your words are going to impact somebody, how you're going to inspire them or comfort them, or so don't be afraid. If you've got something that's on your heart to share it, or say it.
Because the Rustic Girl community is not a community of two. It's all you guys too.
Absolutely.
So we got to take care of each other. We hope you guys have a beautiful week. We will see you again next Saturday morning. And talk to you later, friends. Bye.